I was trying to get your thoughts on the latest news around the World Bank's partial risk guarantee. What I'm hearing is that it's not exactly what the market was expecting.
Yes, I mean, at this point in the entire program, everybody is tense because this is the point where everything should really come together and work. There are insinuations and news that the World Bank would want to issue the guarantee on a case-by-case basis, which means they would like to evaluate the counterparties in favor of which they issue these guarantees. What the market had expected was that because there's a sovereign guarantee from the federal government, they will basically just issue the guarantee for everyone who qualifies through the normal BPE process. That tends to slow things down a little bit because what it means is that the banks will have to wait to ensure that this financing, this commitment actually holds before they come in. So it tends to slow things down a bit.
So this is something that could hurt the process a little bit in your view.
Yeah.
But how badly? Is there anything to worry about at this stage?
Before now, I mean, you expected that this would happen automatically. But now you will have to wait for that to happen. I mean, what it means is that you are unlikely to see payments occur until the banks are certain that those winning bids are qualifying for the World Bank partial risk guarantee.
If we're looking at key dates in this whole power sector reform, what will be the next key date for you? And we know that preferred bidders have emerged from last year, but of course many of them still have to make payments. So what should we be focusing on right now if we're trying to track the news flow around these power reforms?
Well, right now they are working with their banks to put their financing together to make those payments. Don't forget that there were guarantees already issued out to ensure that those payments will happen. So really what we should be looking at are those points where the sales agreements will actually be signed. I guess that somewhere between now and that point, we will need to resolve where the World Bank stands on this.
Okay, of course, the government put out a statement earlier this year saying that 10,000 megawatts is, if you like, a new target for this year. Now, your view, given where the integrated power projects are, given what the new investors are likely to do at some stage this year, do you think that is a realistic target?
It's not unrealistic, but it's not going to be coming largely from what the new investors coming from this bid round will do. It will largely come out of sources streaming out from the independent power projects around the country. We believe that if everything works smoothly, without any major banks, we should achieve that target.
All right, I've come back to the investors. Your thoughts on where they're likely to get the money? There's a view that a lot of it is still going to come from the local market, but do you expect to see some foreign money at play with respect to these power companies?
My take is that a lot of the foreign money are going to ride on the World Bank's partial risk guarantee. And that is why that point is crucial to the entire process. Right now, a lot of the other players have other sources of funding that might support their bid process, but certainly will not take the entire requirement on the back. So it's just important that every party to this, especially the World Bank and the federal government, quickly aligns the expectation of the market to commitments that were made earlier in the process.
All right, so a lot of investment going to happen, a lot of money coming to the table. At what stage do you think this is likely to impact the economy itself? There's a sense that, yes, the power reforms are crucial to any further economic growth or any acceleration to the growth that we're seeing these days. But at what stage do you think we'll begin to see the impact of these power reforms on the broader economy?
Well, there are several aspects of the power reform. First of all, there will be investments that will go straight to the federal government. I expect the federal government to begin to use that to expand the transmission highways for the country to improve the capacity to intervene in transmitting power across the entire network. Now, the second aspect that will happen is when the capex spend begin to come underway, but that will only happen after the purchases will have been made. You know, at that point, you have all kinds of contracting work that will go on, suppliers of equipment and construction companies. So that is a second level of impact. I do not see any, in terms of power output when the companies take over, they will then try to, first of all, stabilize the existing capacity.
Right.
That's the third level that you will see before they begin to grow that capacity.
So what does all that mean?
So
You think like 2014 before we begin to see?
I'm looking at
significant-
2014, really,
Right.
late 2014.